Hey, everybody, this is Jack Hammer. I cover the 49ers for the Santa Rosa Press Democrat. Below me here is Coach Noah Johnston. How you doing, Coach?
Doing great. I'm so used to the it's a little weird having like actually good intro music.
Having some good. There you go. There you go. Well, I wanted to get you on. I know that you and I have been talking a little bit about doing some shows on a regular basis here over the off season when that time comes. But wanted to get your feedback on 49ers and Packers and really take a look at the 49ers defense against Green Bay from back in week 3 and how that could play a factor coming in here to this game here on Saturday for the divisional round of the playoffs. So uh,
Yeah,
we want to just go ahead and get it started.
yeah. Let's get it started. But I think we should go through. There's some like actually huge personnel differences between now and back then, and we can. I think maybe we should just go through them.
Sure.
Right. Right now we're talking about D Ford, and Javon Kinlaw were both playing in this game. These guys they're both. Kinlaw is on actually on injured reserve. And what is Ford's actual status? Is he on IR?
Yeah, they're both on
They're
IR.
both
Yes.
on IR, so they're not playing, right? Josh Norman is a starter in this game. I think this might have been his first full start. Um,
It
Chad,
was. It
yep,
was. They had started Deometer Lenore in week 2, uh, and he had been the one, and Lenore had been the one to come off the bench in Detroit as well when Verrett went down. So
yep,
uh, this was Norman's first start, and then he ended up getting hurt with the chest. I think this was the game where he got hit in the chest and was spitting
chest,
up blood
yeah,
and things. And Lenore comes in to replace him late in the game in the fourth quarter, second half.
yep. So Josh Norman is starting corner. He's no longer starting corner right now. So with Ford still playing, Eric Armstead is playing a lot of edge in this game, and he's no longer playing edge. He's playing inside, and then they didn't. I think Greenlaw is out in this game, so um, he's not playing as well. So yeah, obviously he's healthy. So the 49ers have the full complement of linebackers now.
Yeah, and the one other change too, and this is on the other side of the ball for Green Bay, they were playing their third string left tackle in this game as well because
Correct.
Bakhtiari was out.
Bakhtiari.
And the person who was replacing Bakhtiari was hurt, so they were on their third string left tackle at that point. So Bakhtiari will be back. It
Correct.
should be back on Saturday night from the way it looks because he was a limited participant. He's been working out with the team and he's listed as questionable, which usually means that he's going to be
Oh,
going.
and they hadn't made the trade with the Texans at this point yet. So is it Omenyahu? Is it Omenya?
Oh
I don't
man,
know what is it. Omenahu. Charles Omenahu is not on the team. Presently on the team
yeah.
at the point in time.
And I know we're focusing right here on the Texans, or excuse me, on the 49ers defense against the Packers offense. But it's funny because the 49ers picked up Omenahu and the Packers picked up Whitney Merciless from the linebacker
The
from
Texans.
Houston. Yeah, from the Texans as well. So
Mm.
couple of old Texans might be playing in this game. So we'll see what happens.
Yep.
All right, let's just go ahead and we can kind of just run through some of this. We can fast forward through it to open up the game, and I think this is going to be a key factor in this one. They've got to stop the run. I think in order
Absolutely,
to
100%. I think as I went through this game and sort of remembered how it went, the Packers, a team they made a concerted effort to run the football, and they also they wanted to do two things. It's part of their game now, anyways, but I think they really wanted to limit that 49er pass rush. Even when they do throw the ball, they try to get that thing out quick. Even on some of the deep stuff, it's out of their, Rodgers doesn't want to hold on to it. So yeah, I think you're 100% right. They're going to try to run the football, and I think if you see early on that they can run the football, that's a big red flag that this game's not going to go the way of the 49ers.
yeah, because Aaron Jones had a good game in this one, if I
He did.
remember correctly. He had almost 80 over 80 yards on 19 carries. And then the
Yeah,
first big play of the game right here.
yeah. I think you know what this was kind of eerily similar to last week, right?
Yes.
The touchdown.
Hmm.
The thing about guys like Rodgers and even Dak, but specifically Rodgers, like you got to be careful about what you show them and tell them, like if there's a matchup, you can't let them see it early because they'll find it.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see what happens here because I think I don't think we're going to see Marquez Valdez Scantling on Saturday night. He's listed as doubtful. He has a back injury. He may not go for Green Bay. It sounds like it's most likely not that he won't be able to. Uh, but
Yeah,
there's so much
right.
room over there for him.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, that could easily just be Randall Cobb, or it could really be any receiver, to be honest, quite honestly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. And then they come back from that, and then they get this little screen over here to Jones. And this is another, again, where they do a really good job, kind of like you said. The deep shot there comes out of his hand so quick, and then this is just an easy little throw underneath that he's able to get the ball out.
Right. And I thought that watching this that LaFleur did a nice job of staying patient with the run game. Something that maybe, you kind of got to do versus the 49ers. Even though I think early the run game wasn't as effective as it seemed to be later. But he stayed patient with it and stuck with their game plan. Remember, like you said, Bakhtiari was out, so running the football was one of the ways they could lessen Bosa's impact.
Yeah, and kind of looking through this because I'm writing up my pregame preview thing today, and one of the things I've noticed is that the Packers have done a really good job, and throughout this whole series with the 49ers of games that they've played since Shanahan's been here, of being sticking to the run game, not getting away from it, and really keeping with it regardless of what's going on. And I do agree with you. They need to stop the run though in order to get to Rodgers and hopefully get some pressure on him, because the only time they've really hit him is
they spill him out there. I think there's a holding call, but they flush him. That's actually a positive play. If the 49ers do that to him, that's actually a positive play. Flush him out of the pocket, make him run for 3 yards. Don't let him get the first down. Don't let him throw the ball. Rodgers is way more dangerous throwing the ball than he is running around.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then this was, they got down there on the long throw, and then they get the little screen, and then Nick Bosa comes through it. This was the one series of the game where Bosa just really blew it up here at the end.
Yeah,
because he got the stop on the run, I believe, coming up too.
And I will say this: that the 49ers their run defense is so much better than it was at this point in time. This point in time, it was one of the things I was talking about with Grant on his channel, that their run defense has to pick it up, and I was tweeting about it. For me, the biggest difference has been how the linebackers fit now, and how they're really coming downhill and filling the gaps. They were sluggish before, and just gave time for the run game to get up to the runners to hit their gaps and for linemen to come off their blocks and get to the second level.
How much of that do you think is from having Eric Armstead down inside now instead of Javon Kinlaw?
I do think, I don't know. In my opinion, I don't know that so much of that is affected the linebackers as much as I do think Armstead had to get used to playing full-time interior. Now, I do think Armstead's play his better play has affected and made the linebackers better. But I think if you took Armstead out, I just think the linebackers on their own are just fitting better. They're doing a better job of seeing it and fitting. Now Armstead's helping by being able to come off blocks and making some plays in the backfield and doing those sort of things. That's always going to help. But I just think in general the linebackers they're seeing the fit, and they're coming down. They're filling the hole. So I do think Armstead helps, but I think the linebackers have improved.
Okay. Yeah, see, there's a second big shot of the game to Scantling. They definitely were able to. Oh, that's actually not Scantling. That's the other one. 83. Yep. Which one's 83?
No, I don't think it's Cobb, right?
No, it's not.
No, that was the deep. That was the post. Take that back. Run that back for a second, because I think that was something that was a big deal that was talked about a lot, and when it had happened. In my opinion, I don't think there's enough pressure on Rodgers in that moment. So I think he has. I wanted to count the seconds. Nah,
Yeah, he
he
doesn't
got.
even have anybody.
Yeah, there's no one around him, and he is getting. Yeah, in those moments they gotta get somebody at least in his face. He does kind of get rid, like someone's got to be in his face. You know, just being some sort of disruptive. And then I'm not really sure who blew that. To me, on that coverage, it looked like either either Ward has to come off and help, or to me, the way I would run it is that backside corner would have to, as soon as the wide receiver cuts back in, Ward takes it. That corner's got to bail out and zone off his quarter.
Yeah, it's a tough one because there's two things that are happening here. They're showing 4 man up front, but then they're only going to bring 3. They're going to drop one back, and so
Yeah,
that's
right.
going to be part of.
Jones drops, right? Is
Yeah,
it a defensive tackle?
yeah, that's correct. And then they've got the trips over here in the bunch, and so you've got Ward kind of reading that, and you've got the underneath route coming to him, which pulls him up right
Yeah, it
there.
was. Yep, it pulls him up. But the only thing I would say that I would say on that is like what's the bigger? Yeah, it's. I guess you're right, Jack. That I guess I would say there. D'Amico got caught in it was a bad call versus a good play. That's a hard ask to ask a safety to cover that guy, running across the field like that. At least Tart kept them from scoring.
Yeah, yeah. At least they got to him. They're going to end up scoring on the drive anyway. There's,
Yeah.
but I don't think they're going to be able to get away with only bringing 3 on Rodgers too often. They're going to need to
Absolutely.
get bodies around them. They might not get hits on them, but they need to get bodies around them.
I
I,
think. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say they don't hit them very often. They've played in these
No.
5 games that they've played them. They've only hit them 24 times, and 10 of those came in the blowout in the regular season game of 2019. They hit him quite a bit in that game, but other than that, they haven't really been able to get a lot of hits on him. But if you can just get a pressure around him, he's a smart guy. He's like Tom Brady, and that he's going to throw the ball away before he gets hit most of the time.
Yeah, I think that was definitely part of the game plan. Is they want it out of Rodgers' hands. They don't want him getting hit, and he doesn't obviously want to get hit, but they don't want hit. That's part of their game plan. They don't want this 49ers defensive line being able to tee off. Here's another defensive tackle drop. They're obviously the thing about Rodgers, right, is you want to get 4-man pressure, but at the same time you don't want to show him the same look all the time either. So you got to kind of give him different looks because he's an extremely intelligent man, and he's also an extremely intelligent football player. So if you show him the same thing over and over again, he's going to beat it.
Yeah, and they almost get to him here with just the 3, but he's able to sneak up through
Yep.
and
Now, yeah.
Tart's just a step slow with making a big pick right there.
I don't, and we talked about personnel before. I think he is playing a lot better than he was at this time, and obviously they hadn't really kind of found that magic, the magic bullet of moving Key inside, and I think Ebukam is playing a lot better as well. Now, is Ebukam a world beater out there at defensive end? No, but I think he's playing a lot better than he was earlier in the season.
Yeah, what they ask him to do, he does a really good job of it, and also Nick Bosa's just been getting double and triple teamed, which has really helped everybody else out too. Because he's been the big guy as far as the numbers.
Yes, and Charles Omenihu stepped up big time last game, and he's started making some plays. Jordan Willis that's another one. Sorry, Jordan Willis was not available at this game either, so you sprinkle in some of him too, and he's made some plays this year. He made some plays at the end of last year, and especially if Nick Bosa can't go, then those guys are going to have to pick up the slack.
Yeah, for sure. And the other thing that was interesting about this game too, and just kind of re-looking at it, was I know that Rodgers only throws for about 260 yards, but there was a lot of pass interference calls on the 49ers down the field as well. They took shots that caused PIs early in this game, or throughout, really.
Yeah. I think
Scene here.
the right weren't they those were primarily on Lenore and Norman in this game, right?
Yeah, there and
The PI shots. I think there was maybe one on. Was there one on Chakwaski? I can't exactly remember.
yeah, that's a tough one right here though, because this one is Lenore, I believe, right here. This is a tough one, I think,
Yeah,
on him.
you can't listen. It's almost impossible for DBs to go through a game and for an entire secondary not to get PIs. Like it's going to happen. You just don't want to be, you don't want to be the league leader in it. You know,
Right. And at this point in the season, early on, the first half of the season, the 49ers were getting caught with it quite a bit.
yeah.
And the other thing too on this, you were talking about you guys getting better, and I think at this point in the season, I think if I remember correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that didn't Jaquaski Tart miss almost the entire preseason?
He did. Mm-hmm. It was it turf toe?
Yeah, I think it was something like that. And he's just getting himself back going. I think in the early going of the season.
LaFleur must like something, LaFleur with the matchup wise versus the 49ers defense, because you're seeing, and I don't maybe it's the Packers offense. I don't watch a lot of Packers tape, so I don't really know, but there's a lot of motion in this game with the wide receiver, specifically wide receiver motion. I don't know if it's something that he likes versus the 49ers defense, but you're getting a lot of that motion. I don't know if it might be they're trying to let Rodgers see the coverage. When they get that motion, if the 49ers spin safeties down, indicating man, or the 49ers don't really react, indicating zone. But for whatever reason, they liked using that motion in this game.
Yeah, no, they were definitely moving people around quite a bit. A big sack there from Armstead, though.
Yep. Yeah, he's definitely have to do. He doesn't have to get the sacks, but they got to get pressure.
Yeah, it's a nice move by Devontae Adams on Jimmy Ward right there.
Yeah.
So one of my things I think I go back to this, and Rodgers is going to get his yards regardless, but we talked about it already. I think the 49ers just really need to shut this run game down.
Yeah, and you got to shut the run game down, because what's that going to do, or what that's going to do? It's going to create third and long opportunities, and those are the opportunities that you're going to get to be able to get to tee off on Rodgers. If it's 3rd and 4, he's going to be able to get rid of that ball quick, and probably get a first down in doing so. Now, if you're putting him in a situation where he has to hold on to the football because he doesn't want to, then you can go ahead and you can get your sacks. You can get pressure in his face, and maybe you can get him to make a bad decision or throw a bad ball and something like that. He doesn't do it often, but if he's going to do it, that's how you can get him to do it. And so you got to do your work early and stop the run.
Yeah, and I think we're going to see them move the ball up and down the field, like similar to what they did in this game. They're going to move the ball between the 20s on the 49ers. And the 49ers are going to have to clamp down when they get down in this area of the field and force field goals in order to win this game.
Yeah, I agree. And if the defense can manage to get a turnover or two, that's going to be huge.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting, because that's one of the another area where the Packers are really good. They've only turned the ball over 13 times all season. They're one of the top teams in the league on that, and they're plus 13 on the year. So
Rodgers is always top, one of the tops in the league as far as interception rate. So he doesn't throw a lot, and obviously if you're not fumbling, this was a nice play here by the defense, letting Rodgers believe that the flat was open, then come in and close on it.
Yeah, that was a really nice stop. I think that's the one where that might be the play when
Norman. Yeah, it was where Norman gets the chest injury. You think he causes a fumble when it goes out of bounds, right?
Yeah, that bounces out. Yeah, and then they get a goal line stand here, is what happens.
They do get a goal. They do get a goal line stand. This was a big moment in the game.
There's the pressure.
And they get a hit on Rodgers. I mean, I don't know about you. Every time I see one of these in the game, I'm like holding my breath that the ref doesn't throw a flag now. Like, it's like you know, uh,
Is this supposed to be is this supposed to be a screen over here? The way that they're moving their linemen over,
it looks like it's definitely it's man coverage. I know on the 49er side it's man.
yeah, because they do a
Yeah,
really good
that
job.
might be.
It's
Yeah,
almost like
you know,
it's almost like a screen with routes behind it where they're just kind of working them along the line, and then because they've got everybody else going out.
yeah, yeah, that's a screen. You're right. And then
You're,
he's just looking at it saying it's not there. Let me just throw it away. He knows he can
yeah,
get it out there and yep, receiver out there and we just get rid of it.
yeah, that was a really good stop for him.
Yep. So here they're showing safety down early. He's just taking a shot. But
They
if you
definitely
see,
they definitely took those shots down the field on the 49ers though in this game.
yeah, but if you see this Jack, like he's not holding on to that football. Like he's like, all right, I'm gonna take a shot, but he's not holding on to it. So I think that I was very in this game watching it at the time. I was not impressed with 49ers defensive line and their pressure on Rodgers, but he definitely made a point to get rid of the football, and then by not being able to really stop to really shut down that run game, you're not really giving yourself great opportunities to rush and passer.
Hmm. Yeah, that's a really nice play in the open field by Alshire. And then they come
Yep.
back here. And this is again the pass interference things. We saw the one on Lenore. We get another one here. This one is on Mosley down here at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, I don't think I don't think it's going to be like a game changer being having all your linebackers available for this game. It is nice to have them, especially as it seems like that one of them always seems to go down at some point. Like you know,
Yeah, no, I think in this game it's going to be much more. You're not going to see the 49ers with their base defense on the field very often because there's really no reason to. The Packers
yeah,
don't put themselves
agreed.
in that personnel where you'd want to have three linebackers. It's going to be Kwan Williams really being your third linebacker.
I think Jesse astutely pointed out that there was a point of this game where they did start to put Mosley on Adams, and then they went away from it, which D'Amico never seemed he doesn't even when Salah was here, they've never been a matchup defense aside from maybe putting Ward on a tight end, but as far as that, they're not really matchup D.
No, they don't. There was a little bit of couple of times where they'd move Sherman around and have him go inside or whatever. It was usually a situation where it didn't happen unless they were getting beat quite a bit. And there's only a handful of times that I can remember doing that. Really, might even be once.
Yeah,
But that's a big run right there on first down. They get the 6 yards and they set up the short.
yeah. Now it's 3rd and 3. Third and 3 with Rodgers and Gunn is actually, normally you would say, oh, what are you doing in Gunn in 3rd and 3? With Rodgers, it's actually a good look, and he gets it off to Adams, right?
Yeah, and Lenore's in the game at this point. So Norman did get
Yep.
hurt in the goal line. So now this is
Extending. Yeah.
yeah.
So I think, and Adams went off this game. He had like 150 something yards, right?
Yeah, he had a big day.
Stop this right here for a sec. See, this is one thing I think. I know it's first down, but I think the Niners have to do a better job. And I think up at this point, later in the season, they have done a better job. But you got to be able to show him something, and then post snap being something else.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like showing a guy like a vet like Rodgers I don't like showing them what they're getting. And right now I know this is a run and that's fine, but when you get into some of the passing stuff, like you got to show something and play something else. Because if he knows where he wants to go with the football, he's going to beat you.
Yeah, and that's one of the things the 49ers gotten really good at. I mean, I think they've gotten better at it. They seem to give Dallas some trouble with that last week, showing pressure, and then they didn't know if they were coming or going. There was a couple times where they showed it, and then they bailed out, and it seemed like it bothered Prescott a little bit.
That yeah, and I mean it also helped when the defensive line was working. That offensive line that always helps. But
Yeah, for sure. It makes the
well,
coach a lot smarter when your defensive line is
see,
playing well, right? That's a
yeah, yeah, that's a hell of a catch. And see, Rodgers getting rid of that because Bosa beats. Look,
yeah.
Bosa actually he was about to beat that double team. um,
Yeah, and it's look where Rogers throwing this ball. He's fitting this thing in a little bucket on the sideline. He's got space out there, but look at the. I mean, it's not like there's a lot of room,
yeah,
right? And that's just
well,
that's why he's in
and
Rogers.
that's on is it Dante Johnson 27?
Yeah. Dante Johnson was on him on that one.
Yeah,
He's out there. I think he's still out
you
there on this one.
you'd hope if that was Thomas or Mosley at this point that they wouldn't give up that play. Um, that they'd squeeze that a little bit harder to the sideline and make it a lot more difficult for Devontae Adams. Now Devontae Adams is certainly making it capable of making a tough catch right on the sideline, but you want to make it as difficult as possible for him.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they did a nice job in this game just fitting up these screens. The Packers tried to run it a few times, and for the most part, the Niners did a nice job against them.
They just got to get that first tackle right there, and then they got to get the run right up the middle.
Yep, there's a motion again. That's an easy touchdown.
Yeah. This is an interesting game because they dominated throughout this first half, and they go in up. It's 17-0 at this point. Looking, they're going to go in up 17-0. Niners get that long kickoff return, and look at that. Before they get they just gone up 17-0, and now by the time they get the ball back for the first time in the second half, their lead's been cut from 17-0 down to 17-14. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're back in. What quarter is this? Third quarter?
Yeah, so we're right at the beginning of the third quarter.
Third quarter toss. I think the third quarter is really when they start after that touchdown, and now like that the running game really starts to get going.
Yeah, they get a nice gain here, then they're gonna.
Yeah, that's either a linebacker or safety fit there. Like see Bosa to do a better job of stringing that out, but that was a linebacker safety gap.
That's a really nice play by Alshire though, on Adams. Wow.
That's what I thought for the most part. Like I said, on these screens, the 49ers did a pretty good job of it.
It's funny and kind of looking back at this game right now, just kind of looking at the who's on the field.
Absolutely.
See, the 49ers are running their with three linebackers, but they have Marcel Harris as the he's a linebacker, but he's also a safety. His abilities.
And you've got to say, I mean, the three that are playing now are definitely better than Marcel Harris. I mean, obviously with him, Marcel Harris has some coverage ability, having been a safety, but you feel a lot more comfortable with the other three.
Yeah.
They did a lot of this game of Fred stepping in, mugging up in that A gap, and then peeling back off. I couldn't recall watching him coming one of those times. I think he was always mugged up and he always backed out. Now it'd be interesting to see if in this game coming up on Saturday if D'Amico actually sends Fred.
Because that's one of the things that they've done a good job against, or at least they did a good job in 2019 against Rodgers, was bringing pressure and getting that through.
Yep, and especially with the aggressiveness that D'Amico showed in the last game. Will that spill over to the next game, or was that just a game plan that was really specific to the Cowboys?
Mm-hmm.
Another inside run.
Because they're going to drive down the field here. They only have this possession. They only have two more possessions in this game, I believe. Maybe not.
Yeah. I thought didn't they run? How much did the Green Bay run for in this game? Was it? I think I have it here. Was it
They had
100?
100 yards. They carried the ball. They had 100 yards rushing. 25 carries. 19 of them were for for 33. I think he
Yeah,
had 80. I think he had about 86 of those yards though, because the other guy had 6 for 18, so he had whatever the difference of that is. 82, 19 for 82 yards.
yep. That's a nice move by Jones. Again, see, if you pressure Rodgers, he wants to get rid of it quick, and that's fine. I think if you get him to get rid of the ball quickly, that's a win for the 49ers defense.
Yeah, this was a nice little drive for Green Bay. It was one of they're going to get a nice pass interference call here too on Fred Warner on this drive.
Yeah, I remember. He comes in. I think He uses his outside end on the tight end and gets called for PI. It was to me it was a little ticky tacky, but whatever. They're gonna make.
That's the second time they ran this toss here in this half. They came out. It was the first play of the half, 7 yards. They come back to it here. They get 6.
Nice cutback.
Mm-hmm.
I thought if you look at the stats of the run game, you look the Niners did a pretty decent job against the run, but it seemed more like timely runs, and then because of Green Bay, they had a commitment to run the football, that they were able to sustain some of the drives. It's not like they went off and had 120 or 130, 150, but there were some really timely big runs, like we saw with the touchdown, just the toss that we saw before, that were able to really help sustain drives and make the 49ers defense play them honest.
Yeah, and there's the pass interference that we were talking about.
Yeah,
he's showing blitz like you were saying, and then he drops because you see him up there at the line of scrimmage. And it looks like Ward's going to have 85, but he falls back and.
Yeah, I think he uses the inside. Yeah, he got there a little late, and then uses the inside arm on him.
He came across like this.
Yep. That's why. Yeah. And that's what I'm talking about, guys. When I'm talking about with linebackers and safeties need to fit, like because of the style of this defense and the gaps that are open, linebackers have to fit holes and then fit them fast. I mean, we're there. I think was that Fred. Fred went for an inside fit, and then no one was there outside. You can't just leave big gaps open like that because you're going to get exactly what just happened, and that's not on the defensive line.
Yeah, and they've gouged them a few times here now with the run. That was, 7, 6. That was a big run right there of 10 plus.
Yeah, that's if you're looking for a run game. I mean, this is exactly what the Packers want to do. They want to put you away late with their run game, and that's what they will do here, and not let that defensive line tee off on their quarterback.
Lee was asking us if the Packers ran out of shotgun much. It seemed like they ran a pretty good amount out of it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I think Aaron's comfortable in shotgun, so I think no matter who you are coaching there, I think you have to do a lot of work in shotgun because that's what your quarterback's comfortable in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they go over. He was so close to getting that right there.
He was, but they did get a little bit of pressure there, and like I said, Aaron wants to get rid of it. So,
yeah. It's a really nice play on his part, and I mean you're an inch away, right? And that's Ambry Thomas maybe a little bit taller than Dalmiller. I'm not sure. Maybe he's able to fall back a little bit quicker and close the gap. That maybe
6 foot versus 5'10", and if you look at. It's interesting that when we saw Ambry close out that game with a pick because he seriously could have. I know we've been on him and he's made his mistakes, but if you look back, he could have probably feasibly had 4 or 5 picks at this point. Like he put himself in really good position a number of times where he should have had an interception.
Yeah, and then this series right here, they just decided to come out and we're going to just take shot after shot. They took three big long throws on him here. This
Yeah,
one sets up the 49ers to
come down and
come down and have Jimmy Garoppolo throw the ball backwards, I believe.
and and D'Amico is sending Ward on that one, which he's done a lot, certainly a lot more than Salah with bringing Ward, and he likes to bring Tart when he does bring safeties. But there you saw he brought Ward.
Yeah, you see,
Yeah,
they're definitely taking some shots, and that leads to the backwards pass by Garoppolo.
there you see that double mug again. They're showing mug, and then Warner falls out. Yep, I hadn't seen Warner come one time in this game. I don't believe, and
I think you're right.
It'll be interesting to see if they do actually send Warner in the next one.
Yeah, then this is after so they'd fumbled the ball here and then backwards pass or whatever. And then they run it. I don't even think they throw it. Well, actually, I think there might be one throw.
Yeah,
They end up kicking a field goal. Let's skip forward just a little bit because I do want to get to this.
yeah. Go ahead. This is the okay.
So now we're at the point because that last incompletion, that's what sets up the field goal. But now 49ers have taken the lead. It's 28-27.
Yeah, this is one of the things I think I would like to see D'Amico change up a bit. Up until this point, Adams they were going to Adams a lot. I mean, you just showed the previous drive they tried to hit Adams for a touchdown. in big moments, teams are going to go to their big time players, so you know where they want to go. And statistically, I think Adams has this year. Doesn't he have like 1,500 yards? But like everybody else is dribbled with 300, 400. So it's Adams and then bits and pieces of everybody else. They're looking to get the ball to Adams. So to me, in this moment, with how much time is left, you know where they want to go. You know who's going to create the big play. Just take him away. Like forget quarters. I know you like quarters and all that. Just double Adams and just make someone else make a play. And if he throws it to Adams anyways, and Adams goes up between two defenders and makes a play, shake his hand, good job.
Yeah.
I'd be much rather comfortable with having Rodgers throw at Cobb in this situation, or throw at, I don't even know the tight end's name, 85, or Valdez-Scantling. I think in these moments, and we've seen in other moments at Tennessee with A.J. Brown, where he's their only weapon that they have, that just take him away.
Yeah, and this is an interesting one right here too, because we know what's going to happen, right? Look where 17 is compared. He's going to catch the ball in the other hash, and Rodgers is already throwing the ball, and he's going to be
correct.
They're just not, and that ball's coming out so early, and the Foreigners actually get good pressure on him here if he holds the ball at all. They're getting pressure coming around. I'm not sure who this is because this is when they were doing a lot of chipping at this point, because if you're going to get the chip on Bosa at the top, which is what slows him down, but you get a hold on Ebicom right there in the middle. See that?
The hold on Ebicom and I thought it was a great job with Rodgers, finding the hole in the zone, and a great job of Adams getting the ball. But why even give that to them? Why even give them that? Take Adams away. Make him go somewhere else.
Yeah, make it have to go in a different direction.
That play was designed for Adams. If I'm a defensive player, I want to take away the play that you're designing the ball to go to Adams. I want to go somewhere else. And then let's look where they're going to go now.
Yeah, and they're doing this with no timeouts too. Crazy.
Correct.
Yeah, and they're going to go right back to him. Correct. No, this is going to
Yeah.
be an incompletion.
Oh, yeah. It's incompletion, but then they're going to go right back to him.
I think they throw this one to him also. I think this ball went into his direction. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. This is where that's what they're going. These teams are going to, and I mean, it's crazy. And on my level, in high school level, it's the same deal. Like you're going to your number one guy in critical situations,
Yeah,
and
and then here again, they're going to go to him and look at this coverage they have on them. They got a corner on the outside, and they got the DBs 10 yards, 12 yards off outside as well. This is about as easy as they can get for a quarterback like Rodgers to beat you.
correct. You'd want ideally you want that as tight. You want him as tight as possible. Take everything away from Adam. Do not, and then have one person over the top of it. So if he does get beat, you've completely taken it away.
Yeah, because I think Hufanga has to be up a little bit tighter on this too. I know everybody's blaming Lenore for this one, but Hufanga is so far off as well. Both of these rookies up here on the top really struggle on this one.
Yeah.
I don't really see a reason for him to be back as much as he is. I mean, I understand that they're trying to get depth, but you should be playing the 35-yard line like it's the goal line.
Yeah, and I would say the coaching staff deserves some of the blame too, is because in this situation you know who's over there. It's two rookies. So where's the offense going to go? They're going to try to go at two rookies. I'm sure when they lined up Adams there, they know what the matchup they're getting against. I would have felt much more comfortable if Mosley was over there. And I know you don't move your corners, but sometimes you have to make adjustments in critical situations. And in that situation, I don't want a unseasoned. This is the third game of the season. Unseasoned rookie going up against probably the best wide receiver in the league in a critical situation.
Yeah, and that's what's going to happen on Sunday, right? We're going to see they're probably going to do that, try to get Ambry Thomas matched up with him at some points and try to take some shots at him. So it's going to be a fun matchup to watch because Thomas has definitely stepped up over over these last couple of weeks for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And then if they do go after Ambry and Ambry does put himself in a position to make a play, well, is he going to come up and make a play again? And if they do, if you can get one on Rodgers, that's quite an accomplishment because he doesn't give them away often.
Yeah, and then real quick, just two questions before we hop out. Tristan asks, he said one just wants to say thanks for the film breakdown. He likes watching it. Thank you very much, Tristan. That's awesome. Appreciate it. And then Lee asks, and I want to get your answer on this one. Where would the most effective pressure come from on Rodgers?
You know what? To me, I'm not going to be picky about it. I think any pressure on Rodgers is going to be good pressure. He can move with his legs, but he's not going to kill you running the football. He's gonna run and scramble to get a first down or scramble around to throw the football. So I would think any pressure you can get is going to be good. Is going to be good pressure, in my opinion.
Yeah, any pressure is always good on the quarterback. For me, I would say you've got to try to get it up the middle because quarterbacks are good when the pressure's coming off the edges if they can step up. But if you get that pressure up the middle, they don't really like that in their face if they're trying to throw over it or around it and that kind of stuff. So if they can get some pressure with those guys in the middle, then I think that comes out the best for the 49ers. We'll see. They've got to, like you said, end of the story, regardless of how it goes, they've got to get pressure. They've got to force Rodgers to want to get the ball out of his hands quicker than he wants to.
Correct. If he's got all day back there and he can find his receivers, it's going to be a long night. If they can at least, now remember pressures and all of that, and sacks can only come if the quarterback holds on to the ball long enough for you to sack the quarterback. If if a quarterback really wanted to, and if he wanted to just throw it away every single play, he could, or throw it in the dirt or whatever. You're kind of dependent on the quarterback holding on to it in order to get a sack.
Yeah, that's what we see a lot with Rodgers is getting that ball out quick, so that's why they don't hit him and doesn't get sacked very often.
Yep.
in general. So, hey, Coach, I really appreciate you coming on and jumping on with me and
Yeah,
uh, your patience with me because I know we were going to try to do this yesterday and
it's
it
all
wasn't
good.
able to work out. So I appreciate that. And for everybody that jumped on and joined, I appreciate you checking it out. We're, Coach and I are going to be doing some shows together on a regular basis moving forward. So definitely keep coming back to the channel. And if you haven't already subscribed, do so. Hit the like button, all those fun things, and go follow Coach over on Twitter. He's got some good tweets every once in a while. Sometimes he says some that I don't agree with, and I usually tell him. But
It's up. And sometimes you correct me for when I have wrong tweets. And also I think Jack, I think you're on like 30 different shows tonight. So yeah,
yeah,
they can. You're on with Sunil after this. Is it on his channel?
yeah, I'm going to be jumping off right now. I'll be jumping onto Surreal Sunil's channel, and then come back over here at 6:30 tonight. You'll have myself and Jesse Naylor for the Hammer Nail show. And I got a
There you go.
special show tomorrow as well that I haven't talked about yet, but another breakdown that'll have somebody that covers the Packers to come on and talk Packers ball with us too. So it'll be fun.
There you guys go.
So,
All
hey,
right.
thank you very much, Coach. Thanks for everybody that joined. I got to get over to Sunil, but otherwise, be back here at 6:30. Talk some more for
Say
national football.
hello. Say hello to my fellow Baldy with over there.
There you go. I'll let them know. Thank you, guys. Take care.
All right. See you.